Hey everyone, I'm so glad that you're here. Ooh, I'm talking about being scared. Have you ever been scared before? And I don't mean just from things that you think might have creeped up behind you. Not that kind of scared. Scared to do something. I have. I'm going to share it with you. I don't really like heights. Well, there's a few things I don't really like, but heights get me a little bit nervous and I do get a little bit scared. But I've learned how to breathe and take some deep breaths to stay calm and face my fear. And it took me a while to cross a bridge that we went on a vacation to a place up in Canada once. And it was a bridge that was high over a waterfalls. And all my family went ahead. And my legs just didn't seem to want to keep on walking. And I would look and I would say to myself, this bridge is safe. I can do it. And then I'd try to go and my legs kind of stayed there. But you know what? I wanted to get to that other side and I wanted to go and do all the things that my family was doing. And I was determined to get across that bridge. I didn't give up. And I did it. And I made sure that I took a picture of it so that I could have a memory that I could show to myself that I didn't give up. I stayed determined and I worked through my fear and I did it. I was so excited, and guess what? My whole family was too. Yeah, I think it happens to a lot of us. What do you think? Do you have any fears? Oh, well, in our story today, we are going to find out what happened to a bear and a rabbit who were good friends in the story I'm Not Scared, You're Scared by Seth Meyers and pictures by Rob Say Jr. Please forgive me if I said that wrong, but I'm trying, and I definitely would like for the illustrator and the author to make sure that they get the credit that they deserve. They did a great story. And guess what? I got this at a local library. Maybe you can too, or at your media center at school, or you can always purchase it online to support the author and illustrator, or go to a bookstore. There's lots of ways that you can get a hold of this book, especially if you'd like to read it again together with a family member or a friend. Maybe someone else has some fears too. And boy, this one, there's a lot in there that I can relate with. I'm so glad there's a story like this. But before we get started, please don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can keep coming back and doing all these fun learning adventures with us. I love when you're here because we get to know each other and cheer each other on and do some special things together. And I'm so excited for you to get comfortable, get ready, open your ears and eyes to look for details that you may not hear in the story, that the author doesn't always use all his words or her words to describe everything. We need to learn how to use our eyes to find those things and look around. You might find some surprises. Okay, I think we're ready to hear I'm Not Scared, You're Scared. Whoa. Looks like they're going to go on quite an adventure too. There once was a bear who was easily scared. Each night before going to sleep, he would tie a bell to his door that would make a noise if anyone tried to sneak in, because even a bear who is easily scared is a very heavy sleeper. He did not want to be scared while he was sleeping. He was even afraid of his own reflection, and because he couldn't see himself, He never brushed well and always had food stuck in his teeth. When you're a scared bear with food in your teeth, you don't have many friends. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, no. Bear had one, Rabbit. Rabbit was never scared. She read scary stories. She slept with her door wide open. And she brushed her teeth while hanging from a tree branch by her ears. This gave her very strong ears. Wow, what different personalities. Wow, maybe their different experiences too will help them with this adventure. One day, Rabbit made an announcement. Bear, we are going on an adventure. Bear suggested that instead of going on an adventure, they could read a book about adventures. That way, if anything goes wrong, we can just close the book. Rabbit looked at her friend and asked, Bear, are you scared? And Bear replied, I'm not scared, you're scared. And with that, Bear walked past Rabbit and out the front door. Bear stopped to make sure they had everything they needed. Do I need a bike helmet? Bear asked. No, said Rabbit. Do I need oven mitts? No, said Rabbit. Do I need bear repellent spray? You're a bear, said Rabbit. Oh boy, here we go. Wonder where they're going. Any ideas? Let's see. After walking a while, they came to a small stream. It looks deep, said Bear. It's not deep, said Rabbit. It looks cold, said Bear. It's not cold, said Rabbit. It looks like it's filled with fish who have very sharp teeth, the kind of fish who would like nothing more than to nibble at the ankle of a delicious bear. Rabbit looked at her friend and asked again, Bear, are you scared? And Bear replied once again, I'm not scared, you're scared. And with that, Bear walked along the stream until it narrowed enough that he could step over it. There he found Rabbit, who had fallen asleep waiting for him. He took so long walking down to the part where it got so narrow that he could step over it. Rabbit didn't want to leave him, so Rabbit waited and fell asleep. After a bit longer, they came to the edge of the woods. It looks dark, said Bear. It's not dark, said Rabbit. It looks spooky, said Bear. It's not spooky, said Rabbit. It looks like it's full of trees that are going to fall down and bonk us on the head, said Bear. Rabbit looked at her friend and said, Bear, are you scared? And Bear replied, Come on, everybody. I'm not scared. You're scared. Good job. And with that, Bear, realizing he would do anything to avoid the dark and spooky woods, walked to the road where he waited for the bus. Oh, Bear. Wow. The bus picked him up and drove him all the way around the forest. When he got to the other side, he woke up Rabbit, who once again had fallen asleep waiting for him. Oh no. Oh boy. Well, at least Bear made it. They walked some more until they came to a mountain. It looks high, said Bear. It's not high, said Rabbit. It looks slippery, said Bear. It's not slippery, said Rabbit. It looks like one of the rocks will fall and roll and land on my paw, said Bear. Rabbit looked at her friend and just had to ask. Ready? Bear, are you afraid? Good job. And Rabbit replied, I'm not scared. You're scared. Hey, you're getting good at that. And with that, Bear, realizing he would do anything to avoid the high and slippery mountain, walked to the nearest train station. The train took him halfway around the mountain to an airfield. At the airfield, Bear bought a ticket on a helicopter that flew him to the top of the mountain and dropped him off next to Rabbit, who, no surprise, had fallen asleep. Rabbit, said Bear, waking her up, should we go home? I'm not going home, said Rabbit, and she bounced off with Bear following behind her. Oh no, Rabbit was on this adventure and wanted to get to the end. Bear just wasn't so sure. Trying to talk Rabbit into going home. After a bit more walking, they found themselves at one side of a long rope bridge. Yikes. Bear stopped. It looks rickety, said Bear. It might be a little rickety, said Rabbit. It looks old, said Bear. It might be pretty old, said Rabbit. It looks like the boards might break if you were heavy enough, said Bear. Agreed Rabbit. Rabbit looked at her friend and said, Bear, are you scared? And Bear took a deep breath and said, Yes, Rabbit, I am scared. I was scared of the river, I was scared of the forest, and I was scared of the mountain. But I am the most scared about this long, old, rickety bridge. And with that, Bear turned around and headed home. Oh no. What's going to happen with this adventure? He marched back to the helicopter that flew him back to the airfield. Then took the train back to the forest, where he got on a bus that took him to the river so he could cross where it was narrow, and then trudge all the way back to his house where he crawled into bed. I guess he was done. He did not want to continue that adventure. He was too scared. Rabbit went to the middle of the bridge and thought, See, this bridge isn't dangerous. It's a good bridge. And to prove it, she started to jump up and down. And then she jumped harder. And then she jumped harder. Then harder than she had ever jumped in her life. Wow. What do you think? Oh yeah. And then the board she was jumping on cracked in half. And Rabbit fell right through the hole in the bridge. Lucky for Rabbit, she had very strong ears. But she knew she wouldn't be able to hold on forever. Whew. And because of this, Rabbit, for the first time in her life, was scared. Now Bear and Rabbit hadn't noticed, but throughout their journey, they had been followed by a small bird. Bird realized she had to get help, so she flew as fast as she could all the way to Bear's house. Whew. Do you think Bird is going to go and wake up Bear? Oh, Rabbit needs help. Bird flew to Bear's window and started chirping as loud as she could, but Bear didn't wake up. Because even bears who are easily scared are very heavy sleepers. Bird was about to give up when she saw the bell on the doorknob. Good thinking, Bird. Maybe we can wake up Bear. Ding, 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 ding. Bird put her head against it and shook it as hard as she could. Bear jumped out of bed to hear Bell yell, "Rabbit has fallen through the bridge and needs your help." Oh. Bear woke up, and in that moment, Bear felt something he had never felt before. Courage. He was so worried about his friend that instead of staying home where it was safe, he ran out the door faster than any bear had ever run before. Go get her, Bear! Wow, he found courage, the strength inside him to face that fear because he knew he cared about Rabbit so much. Go, Bear! When Bear reached the stream, he ran right through it. He didn't walk to where it was narrow. It only came up to his ankles. Oh my goodness, it wasn't as deep as he thought all along. He was worried about things that weren't even true with that stream. There were no fish that nibbled his ankles. When he came to the forest, he ran right through it. It was only 3 trees. Oh, poor Bear, I understand. And when he came to the mountain, he didn't even think about taking a train and a helicopter. He just climbed right up it. It wasn't very high. Look. Oh, Bear, you're doing it, Bear. Meanwhile, Rabbit was now hanging on with only one ear. She could feel it slipping too, and just as she lost her grip, what's going to happen? Bear grabbed her by the ear and lifted her to safety. Bear, were you scared? Asked Rabbit. And Bear said with pride and honesty, Rabbit, I was scared. I was scared too, said Rabbit. And Bear smiled and said, sometimes it's okay to be scared. Let's see. That night, when Bear brushed his teeth, he didn't hide from his reflection. He looked right at it. And do you know what he saw? A very brave bear with no food in his teeth. Wow! Bear faced his fears. Whew! He was scared of a lot of things, and it stopped him from being able to go on that adventure. He tried really hard, but that bridge, well, that bridge was just too much of a fear for Bear, and he went all the way home. And then when he heard that Rabbit was in trouble and could fall, Bear reached deep inside of him, and he found courage to be brave. And guess what? He did it. He did it. He faced all those fears, and we found out, just like Bear, that some of the things that he was worried about weren't even really true. Was the stream deep? Were there fish that nibbled on his ankles? Nope, wasn't that deep at all. The forest that he thought all those big trees were going to fall and bunk him on the head? There were only 3 trees, and he was able to run through it so quick. Oh, and then that mountain that he was afraid to climb up, that those rocks might fall on his paw, wasn't actually that high of a mountain anyway. And the bridge, was he afraid of it being rickety and old? Well, he maybe still had that fear, but he faced that fear, and he went and he saved Rabbit. Yahoo! Yay, Rabbit! Yay, Bear! Bear faced his fears. That's a big deal. How do you think he changed his feelings? From being scared, worried, and all those other kinds of feelings to being, let's find it, proud of himself and being willing to face those fears. He was brave. Takes a lot. Sometimes we need help from a friend or a family member, and that's okay, because we all want the very best for you so that you can go on and be the very best you that you can be. Facing fears takes a lot of time and work on ourselves and courage, all those things that I believe that you have deep inside of you. Oh yeah. Hey, if you faced a fear, let me know about it. Because you know what? I want to celebrate you. And hey, if you're still working on facing a fear, I want to give you a nice big clap and a go, you can do it cheer, because I'm proud of you. Fears can really be scary, but I didn't want to run away from it, which I easily could have. I could have been like Bear and went back to my car and just waited there for my family. And sometimes I maybe have done that in the past. And that's okay, because guess what? I got to a point where I worked through it and I faced a fear. And I hope this book helps you and maybe gets you ready to face some fear and encourages you to be brave and reach deep inside and find that courage. Oh boy, what an adventure, huh? We're always learning here and going on quite some adventures. So please make sure you come back and let's see what our next one would be. I think it's going to be about too much glue. What's that one about? I don't know. Let's go and find out next time. See ya. I hope that you have a great week. Bye.